every religion is a lot of religions.
Okay.
And I'm like, dude, you don't have to
We're
commit
gonna-
so
we're
hard.
gonna-
He's like, I'm committing.
That's Jonathan for you.
Yeah. All
When
right.
he commits, he commits.
I do.
Okay,
Alright.
are you ready?
Yes, I am ready whenever you are.
Or no? Oh, you've got time. Okay, cool.
You said my name.
Go.
All right. Hello, everyone. Thank you all for coming to the thing. I'm really happy about how it's been going so far. Oh yeah, go ahead and clap.
3,
You
2,
gotta
1.
be in front of the cameras. That's the
3,
whole point.
2, 1.
All right.
Woo!
Yeah. Thank you.
Woo!
Okay. So my presentation is about how to go to every single hell in every religion. And as you can see, I've got some stuff up on there. I'm causing people to go to hell. Ask me how. That's the point of this presentation. Today I'm going to be telling you how to speed run your way to hell because, then you can use that time for something else. Yeah, the whole point is to go to hell for certain, and then you know what you're doing. It's kind of like a Pokedex where you have to catch them all, but it's for getting to every single hell in every single religion, because then you know exactly what's happening after you die. And for just legal purposes, this is a work of parody. I cannot be held liable for anyone's eternal fate, as this is a work of parody and fiction. So don't take this seriously. This is all a joke. Okay. What if you put all your energy into the wrong religion? They all have numerous steps, and it takes a lifetime to get into heaven, but a lifetime is only all you have. You have one life, so, what if you get in the wrong religion? We've seen signs like these ones. If you died today, where do you spend eternity? Hell is real. Where are you going? Heaven or Ohio? It's an important question. And so, perhaps some Mormons or Jehovah's Witnesses have knocked on your door and like, are you following our religion? You're like, I don't know. Should I be? Many religions, the big problem is that most people assume that the one they start out in is the only one, but there are so many other religions. So what do you do about all the other religions? They're often contradictory. They're not compatible with each other. So there's got to be something because they all kind of be the only way. So, what if we were supposed to be Scientologists or Pastafarians this whole time? We got to convert to a religion after determining the best benefits package, or just convert to none of them. Just go exactly the opposite direction, 100 miles an hour. So, what if there was another way? Hell is always an option. Many religions have a bad place, and the good news is they're usually explicitly clear about how to get there. So that works well for us, for our speedrunning purposes. In many cases, there are far less commitments and steps by just deciding to go to hell in the first place. And that's actually step 1 of speedrunning your way to knowing exactly what will happen when you die. And you don't have to worry about the afterlife ever again. It's pretty
also
foolproof,
I'd like to point out it's also the first stage of grief and processing is acceptance.
That's true, and you'll be accepting that you'll be spending an eternity in hell. So there are 5 major religions, and then there are over 4,000 minor religions. And if we've learned anything from Pokemon, it's that you've got to catch them all.
Damn.
And of course, there are memes here. No thanks, I'm not interested in eternal life. I've seen enough. I love all my mistakes. I had fun. You know how it is. All right, 3 reasons that hell might not be so bad after all. Humans eventually adjust to their circumstances, no matter how fabulous or terrible they are. You've been hanging onto that phone, and you're like, maybe I'll upgrade, and you're like, it's fine, the phone still works. Or you get a new phone, and it's amazing, and then you have it for a couple of years, and it's fine. No matter how good your phone is, you're eventually gonna not care about it. And that's kind of how it is with hell or heaven. You're eventually just it's hell, it's heaven, it's whatever, I guess. After 1,000 years, everyone will be probably a little bored and grumpy no matter where you go. That's just how it works. So another thing is you won't have to deal with annoyingly nice people. Yes, you might have the guy who invented overdraft fees, or Mitch McConnell if he's not deathless. I don't really know. But you won't have to deal with annoyingly nice people. And if you swear or watch porn, no one's going to be upset about it. So that's pretty cool.
Okay,
and then ultimate bragging rights. If someone asks if you know with certainty what will happen to you when you die, you can tell them that you do. You're like, yes, I am going to every single hell in every single religion. Here's my Pokedex. And you pull out your Pokedex, and it smells like sulfur, and they if they're not breathing, it's probably from the smell of sulfur. It's a whole thing. The Pokedex is, you'll have to see me afterwards. I can't hand those out. I need a license.
Oh, wow.
All right, what is hell like? What do you have to do to go there? Now, Disclaimer, this slide, Christianity has a lot to it, so I can't cover everything on one slide. I only had time to do one slide per religion, so it is what it is. Christianity is the world's largest religion, so it makes sense that we'll start with it first. There are 2.4 billion Christians worldwide, 253 million in the US, and that is 31.5% of the global population. There's a large number of denominations, especially in the Protestant side of things. There's the split between Protestant and Catholic, and I think Orthodox has overlapping traditions. I've been to a couple Orthodox
Yes.
churches. I'm not sure. Cool.
Yes.
So they have some overlapping stuff. The 10 Commandments are biblical, and then the 7 deadly sins are kind of more traditional, like in church tradition. Basically, those are the things that you're not supposed to do. And basically, any sin that you commit will send you to hell unless you accept and confess Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior. So another theory is that that all humans are born with a sin nature, passed down from the original sin of Adam and Eve. So the act of sinning is not even required. So as long as you're born and you don't become a Christian, you're still going to hell. Yes?
Can you take the button up shirt off?
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I forgot about this. That's an important question. All right. Now,
That's what we're ready for.
all right. All right. Now, going through it a little bit because I got a lot of points on this slide. It's slightly more nuanced because some things are seen as worse than others. Murder is bad, but all sin separates you from God and is deserving of hell. The main thing is a sin is a way that you're not connecting to God anymore, so that's the big thing.
Brief question.
yes.
Feel free to not be prepared to answer this.
Go ahead. All
But
questions are fair.
If you murder someone and you both go to hell, wouldn't that be awkward?
The point is not to avoid awkwardness. The point is to just know what
I
happened.
can give you a serious answer to that.
You can, talk to Ashley at the end. That's the real answer.
That is what I'm going to school for.
Ashley knows what she's talking about. I have one slide. Ashley has degrees. All right. Catholic purgatory, medieval church history. I meant to research this more. Anyway, basically, there's a variety of images of hell in different church traditions.
Where are we at right now?
We are right down here.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes.
Almost.
There are a variety of
One
images of
step
hell in
away.
different church traditions. Basically, the important thing is there's a discussion as to whether hell is just like you're just not around God and that's really sad, or if you're like being tormented in fire. There's kind of a range of opinions on that. And then purgatory is a little different. That's more of a Catholic thing. It's not really a Protestant thing. Purgatory is basically, to summarize, it's like putting your socks in the dryer. It's like you wash them and then you can go to heaven. So it's not really, purgatory isn't actually about like eternal punishment. Purgatory is kind of like getting the dirt scrubbed off before you go to heaven. So that's a little different. But purgatory is not as much of our focus today because if you go to purgatory, you're going to heaven afterwards, I believe. And we're not going to heaven. We're just going straight to hell. So we can kind of skip purgatory, actually.
Oh, can I
Yes,
just
go ahead,
give
go
a
ahead.
slightly cool fact, and you can take this extra time.
Oh, yeah.
like add on. So Dante's Inferno. I just want to point to everyone out on that. Like with purgatory, there is a quiz online you can take that will tell you whether you're going to purgatory or what circle of hell from Dante's Inferno you're going to. Heads up, I'm circle 1, lust. Woo!
That's amazing.
Yeah.
We stand. That is the best circle, I think. Now, the important thing,
That's really
actually,
crap.
that's the next slide
Yeah.
right, or the next point right
I
here.
forgot to say the last
Dante's
The last one of
Inferno
people who
is
specifically
actually
make people
it's
apostasy.
commonly referenced in
Like,
popular culture,
turning away
but
from
it's
things.
actually not specifically Christian.
This one.
It references both Christianity, like Protestant Christianity, and Catholicism, and it even draws a little bit from Islam. That's kind of where the like layers and circles of hell come from. Dante's Inferno. So, yes, when Dante visited hell, it was pre-industrialization. There's got to be at least 800 levels by now. But it's okay because Dante's hell is not actually part of a religion, so you don't have to worry about all those 800 levels, or 7,
There's
or
just
9,
one
or
hell.
whatever.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Feel free to
So,
travel through them all.
Next, we're going to talk about Islam, the world's second largest religion. There's 1.8 billion Muslims worldwide, 3.545 million in the U.S., and that's 24% of the global population, so it's a lot as well. There are many schools of Islam. It's pretty similar to Christianity in terms of like there's lots of traditions and differences of opinion. They don't call it denominations, but it's a similar kind of idea. There's 7 layers of hell that mirror the 7 layers of heaven or paradise. So it's basically like you either have 7 layers of like really good or 7 layers of like really bad. And then is it a physical place? Is it temporary or eternal? There's kind of this negative view in Islam of the body. It kind of comes with bad things like dying. So scholars have been divided. There's a lot of discussion about that. They don't really know. Limbo it's so basically hell in the Islam view is like a waiting place until the final judgment day, where everyone is either sent to paradise or they're sent to the fire, which is a little toasty. Islam has a huge emphasis on accountability and judgment. It's concerned that people give God what God is due. Everything comes from God. The people who don't worship God and turn away from Him, they should go to hell. Worshipping other gods, worshipping another god, polytheism, worshipping multiple gods, kind of that contradictory thing we talked about. That's a sure way to get to hell. And another way to go to hell is to just have sex outside of marriage or do anything other than heterosexuality. It's a real bad thing, and it will have bad consequences in the here and now and later. So those are all ways that you can go to hell in Islam. All right. This one is a little bit dense because I threw 2 religions on one slide. Hinduism and Buddhism. We've got 1 billion Buddha. You can read all the information. Basically, there's still a lot of people who believe in Hinduism and Buddhism, but there's a little bit less in the world than those other 2 religions because they together take out like half the planet. Okay, so they have very similar traditions. Buddhism actually borrows from Hinduism. And then it kind of like canonizes, and they kind of added on to the hell lore. They just wanted to keep going. There's traditional torture imagery. It's dark. You can see some pretty graphic things here. We've got like blood coming out and like all the cool shit that's happening there. We've got multiple pictures of people being burned in cauldrons, which is a good time. I like a hot tub. It's a little bit more, So King Yama right here. That's also a fun time. This is King Yama. He actually is the Lord of Death, and he's used in advertising, and he's a popular Bollywood character. So that's pretty cool. That's who you'll be hanging out with, spending a lot of time with King Yama. There's, like from Dragon Ball, exactly. And then there are some pretty cool hells. There's like specific ones. One of them is Utpala Hell, which is this one right here. It's this freezing hell. And basically what happens is it's so cold that your skin freezes, the fluid from your skin bursts, and then it turns into beautiful blue lotus flowers. So that's pretty and graphic and horrifying, and it'll be a good time. It's more difficult to go to hell in both of these religions because they're not really hell-focused. They're more like karma-based, so it's like you keep getting reincarnated. Many methods of going to hell involve defiling holy and clean objects and making them unholy and unclean. So cows, Brahmins, basically priests, anything like that. There is, in Buddhism, a specific hell for just women. And it's if you have a period, it's assumed that because women have periods so much, that eventually you'll accidentally defile something that's supposed to be clean. And so it's kind of just assumed that you're eventually going to go to hell. Yeah.
Without an X chromosome and therefore without eggs, so I don't have a period naturally. Does that make me holier?
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Now I had to, but I didn't have one naturally. I didn't get into
All right. So anyway, because of karma and all that, hell is actually temporary. It's not an eternal punishment. You can't go there forever. It's just a place you go to burn off bad karma before you are reincarnated in your next life. Both of them call this the cycle of suffering or the cycle of samsara. So now you know. All right. Judaism. I did not get to finish filling in this slide because I've spent a lot of time on this presentation. Basically, it's a little difficult to figure out how to get to Jewish hell. I actually...
They don't have a concept of hell.
They don't really have a... Yeah. It's a little bit more like purgatory. So basically, everyone eventually goes to heaven, but first you kind of got to go through the wash and you go through Sheol, which is kind of like purgatory. So there's not really like a regular hell. There's not anything you can do to like be permanently damned or anything like that. But that's Judaism. It's an ethno-religion, so it's like you can either convert to Judaism or you're born Jewish, and then you can be a non-practicing Jew if you're ethnically Jewish. But I mean, if you don't convert and you're not Jewish, you're not Jewish. So there's that.
People believed in the Old Testament that there wasn't a hell.
The Bible mentions Sheol and stuff.
In the scriptures, it's just Sheol, which that essentially just refers to an underworld. There are no real descriptions given about what the underworld is.
So hell
Yeah.
really only existed until like after.
Yeah, a lot of Jesus' teaching is about hell. There's a lot that I couldn't fit it all on the slide, but that's where a lot of it comes from.
Concept in Judaism. No, and we only get to the concept of the fiery furnace when it comes to Daniel, where you see the Son of Man bringing people out of the fiery furnace.
Are y'all okay if I just finish my presentation? Cool. You want to go ahead and stop that iPad?
I'm loving this. Keep
Cool.
on going as
Cool.
much as you
All
want.
right.
I am
Cool.
really
I don't have that many slides left. We're getting through it.
I am in this.
Okay. All right. So anyway, that's Judaism. I didn't get to put all the stats on there, but I can tell you from general knowledge that there's way less Jews in the world, and there's also a pretty much a lot smaller percentage. So maybe someday I'll send you all a text with the stats. But other religions, I didn't get to finish this slide either. I have more slides that are finished. They're coming up. Mormonism is very easy to go to hell. It's stupidly easy to go to hell. You don't even have to try. So fun fact, coffee is a sin. If you drink coffee, it's considered a sin. There's no levels of sin in Mormonism. It's basically just kind of like Christianity. Any sin separates you from God. So coffee is just as bad as unmarried sex or murder. Any of them will send you to hell. You're pretty much like, I work as a barista actually, so I'm getting extra help points by handing coffees out all day. It's great. And drinking coffee. Oh, I'm going to the deepest layer of Dante's Inferno. You heard it here first, everyone. Not in Mormonism. An important thing is that a lot of Mormons consider themselves to be Christians, but Christians don't consider Mormons to be Christians. So it's a little bit of an awkward, like, kind of thing there. Mormonism believes that other prophets were sent after Jesus, like Joseph Smith, who was the one who wrote the Book of Mormon, things like that. There's a South Park episode about about Mormonism. Actually, it's pretty great. And I didn't get the tenet that it shares with Islam, but it was something to do with like the 6 layers of hell, I believe, or something like that. There's a whole bunch. Mormonism also has like heaven that you only can go to if your family goes. It's got a lot of stuff to it. Jehovah's Witnesses, I didn't even fill that out, so we're gonna move on. All right, this slide I put a lot of energy into, as you can tell. So what is hell like? What do you have to go to do there? For other religions, these ones don't really have a hell. Let's talk about Tom Cruise and Scientology.
They both stopped.
Okay.
Has automatically stopped. Has stopped automatically.
1 second. Yeah. All right, we're rolling again. Okay. So other religions that don't really have much of a hell at all, talking about Scientology and Tom Cruise, they actually don't typically dwell on heaven or hell. They just, or the afterlife of any kind. They just
Tell you
focus
not
on.
to do things.
Yeah, they just focus on the spirit, and you can belong to other churches if you want. They're pretty chill and really weird. Rastafarians, basically every reggae artist ever. Bob Marley is a Rastafarian. Bad Brains, like the punk band, they're Rastafarians. A bunch of reggae artists, they're all Rastafarians. They don't believe in a specific afterlife. They just believe in the possibility of eternal life, and only those who shun righteousness will actually die. So pretty much, there's not really a heaven, there's not really a hell. Just chill out, man. Now, Pastafarians, the Church of the Flying Spaghetti Monster, they actually do have a heaven and a hell. Heaven and hell are almost the exact same thing. They're a beer volcano and a stripper factory, so that sounds pretty cool. The only difference is that in hell, the beer is stale and the strippers have STDs, but you're already in hell, so what? I mean, it's not that big of a deal. Satanists, it's basically just goth atheism with an ethical code. It's atheism with satanic aesthetics derived from Christianity, and they don't really believe in heaven or hell or any kind of afterlife or even Satan. It's just a way to get atheism to count as a religion and piss people off. So there's that. And then the Church of Cheese, Emily
Yes.
swears it's a real thing. You literally just
I don't
enjoy
remember
cheese. They
cheese
have the
either.
10 commandments of cheese. I don't know.
Church.
Emily wouldn't let me not put it on there, so it's on there at the
I-
bottom of the slide.
I was obnoxious when I realized
It's
he did
true.
not have the Church of Cheese.
There are a million other religions, but that's what I could fit on the
You
slide.
can get ordained in the Pastafarian church
Yeah,
for
yeah,
$25.
For $25.
Right
Church of the
now.
Flying Spaghetti
Yes.
Monster.
Yes.
Yeah, my
And
professor.
that's the
he was
church.
ordained
That's
to make a
the
point.
spaghetti monster. That's who you'll be worshiping.
Pastafarian.
Yep.
Yes. All right. Now let's talk about how to speed run your way to hell. Now that we've gone over a lot of these, let's just talk about it. Basically,
Okay, but
just
let's
have
take a
sex. That's the fastest way to go to hell in most religions.
Let's take a moment for the
There's a lot of memes on here. Enjoy them as you will. Most of the religions that have a severe or eternal hell, especially Abrahamic religions, often view unmarried sex as an incredibly sinful activity, right up there with murder, but no killing or criminal activity is required. You're not going to go to jail for having sex. It doesn't matter with who you have sex with. Basically, a lot of people who are even progressive in some of these religions would still prefer you to have heterosexual sex. So I guess you get
or
bonus
not have sex
points.
at all.
Right. So I guess you get bonus points for gay sex, but really just any sex counts. If you have sex with a woman on her period, you might go to the Buddhist menstrual hell. This only works if
Another minstrel hell.
Yes. This only works if the theory in purity culture that your soul is bonded with the person you have sex with is real. So if that happens, then that person goes to hell and your soul is bonded, so you go to hell too. Going to hell in Hinduism usually involves defiling something holy and making it unclean like a cow. But if your body's a temple, sex is pretty much the fastest way you can do that. Unless you are in a lower caste and there are cows nearby, then you have other options. But we're not going to assume that. All right, and then
Are
the
you
last
implying
part.
that lower
the-
caste members should fuck cows.
No, you could just
Okay.
spit on a cow and still go to hell.
Okay.
You don't have to do that. We're not advocating bestiality here, just regular sex. Now, the even faster version is just to masturbate. You don't actually need to have another person around. I mean, this is speed running. You're trying to do this as efficiently as possible. So basically, I didn't get to the point where I filled out the TikTok, but there was a viral TikTok where someone talked about how
How is
masturbation is a form of witchcraft. You'll have to look it up. It's a very popular TikTok. There's been a lot of Stitch responses to it. But yeah, basically, that's an even faster way that you can go to hell. It has all the benefits of this previous slide, but bonus points, you don't even need to find another person. So if there's a nuclear apocalypse and you're the only person left on Earth, you can still go to hell. Anyway, that's my presentation. I hope you all enjoyed it, and I'll see y'all in hell.
I got to make a footnote. All of y'all can feel free to meet me in lust in the afterlife. But
Yes.
we can meet up in Circle 1.
Circle 1. We'll have a
Okay,
little party going.
what's the quiz called about?
I don't know, just type in Dante's Inferno quiz.
Dante's.
What circle of hell? Oh, by the way, Jonathan, I found a piece of Pastafarian hate mail that you might get a kick out
I
of.
will look at it later. I'm going to
Actually,
stop the
should we-
cameras recording.